Tim, so good to see you. How you
You
doing?
too, Melissa. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. It's good to catch up. And I will be joining you soon as well on your show. If you guys are not following Tim on YouTube, Online Teacher Do has been guiding us for years. And so, Tim, a lot of people probably came to know you as a source for all the latest info on teaching in Asia for the most part, right? But a lot of that's
Yeah.
changed in the past couple of years. So what's kind of shifted in your world and led you to pivot in order to serve teachers more effectively?
Well, when everything went down with the Chinese companies, I saw hundreds, if not thousands of teachers wanting support to figure out what to do. And I was also in that situation. However, I had sort of spent the last year kind of working on a few private students as well as, diversifying and coaching teachers. So it was kind of a natural step for me to just kind of pivot with a lot of other teachers and to start helping them with the next steps from going with, working with a company to being on their own. So that's really what happened in 2021. And, I've just seen that same kind of momentum in 22, not quite as strong, but still teachers becoming teacherpreneurs, I guess, and going out on their own to build their own thing. And I'm just seeing now, more and more companies paying less and just, teachers having a really difficult time finding the best fit for themselves. And so I think we're just going to see more and more teachers, wanting to go this route of building their own business.
Well, and you provide so many really insightful tools. I think for so many of us who maybe taught in a brick and mortar setting before or taught with one of these big companies, everything was kind of handed to us. And so now we're starting to take those steps on our own. Your courses going solo, right?
Yes, launching solo, yeah.
Going solo, super helpful, super detailed in terms of what people need to do in order to take those steps. So I think that's something that people should definitely look into if they're getting started on that way. So again, you mentioned the whole Chinese regulation idea that has brought a lot of change to this sphere. The advice that you would have given 3 years ago would probably look very different to someone who's just starting out. So if someone is just walking into the door of online teaching right now and they're like, hi, what's this about? What advice would you give them? What would you tell them as they kind of walk into this?
Yeah, good question, because I get that almost every day. I would say 3 years ago, it was very easy because it was a natural progression. I still see a lot of teachers that do want to get started with a company, and a few of them out there will give you a little bit of experience. And so, yes, I still say, if that, especially for someone that is in a situation where they really need some fast income and, they don't necessarily feel like they have the time to build out this whole thing. So I would say, look at those companies. They can provide you a little bit of security. And I like to always think of, that sort of secure bucket of income that is coming in every month that you can rely on. Maybe for people watching it was companies before, but you were also thinking, hey, I could maybe do this on the side. For me now, it's that side thing of doing, teaching independently, but I also have my courses that I'm working on as sort of the end goal. But now when someone asks me, I generally will tell people to, don't do this alone, like connect with others and get involved with the community, find good Facebook groups to be a part of, and find a couple of teacher friends that you could, bounce ideas off of, because we don't all know it, on our own. It's important that we're kind of connected with others. I know we were talking about connection earlier, and it is so important because you hear about ways of doing things or companies or marketplaces out there. But I would also suggest people, maybe look at marketplaces as well as a place to get started, because, it is sort of a soft transition to being completely independent. And, you can get that feeling of what it's like to create a class and to, maybe do a little bit of the marketing where, but the marketplace does often market for you, but you can do a few extra things that you wouldn't do necessarily with a company. And yeah, be thinking about your end goal of having your own thing and teaching your own students. 3 years ago, I probably would never have said that to somebody, but now that would be that is one of the things I say in every response is, make sure that you are building your own thing. I think we all wish that we were thinking that 3 years ago. Maybe we never dreamed that this whole explosion would happen. But
absolutely. No, well, and I love that you mentioned your courses are kind of something that's, that you're building, that you're looking to. So I think going beyond the idea of minute-to-minute teaching is really important too. A lot of times we go, online teaching, this is what I'm going to do. But as we've also talked about, as a busy person in any stage of life, you've got limited time in your day. So are you going to dedicate 50 minutes to this, or are you going to be able to say, all right, I've got 10 minutes here. I'm going to work on this product. I'm going to work on this course. I'm going to work on this, I don't know, flex class, something that is not minute to minute demanding you be at your computer on this time.
Exactly. And I think that's you bring up another good point that I think teachers are starting to think now outside of that, one-on-one sort of trading time for money concept of online teaching, and thinking, how can I scale this and create things that are going to bring me some passive income, but also still be able to serve the students, things like courses and memberships. There's a lot of different, you mentioned flex classes. I'm familiar with them, but I think it's the idea that they take them at their own pace, right?
Yeah, similar to your courses.
Type of thing. Yeah, exactly. So things like that. And I think, the pandemic has just launched us all into that type of learning now, and we're more used to it than before. And, I think students are also more used to it than before. So.
Yeah. Well, with all this teacherpreneur talk, with all the, checklists of things that we should do, it's easy to get bogged down in invoices and planning and scheduling and stuff like that. And so what are you excited about? What have you seen in this space? It could be with people, it could be with technology, it could be with material, but what gets you excited about the future of education in this kind of moment that we're living in?
Wow. I mean, there's so much out there right now that is accessible. I think just accessibility to amazing tools is really, really cool. I mean, it's hard to really keep up with. Like, I'm just now learning more about this Chat GPT thing. Have you been seeing that? Yeah. And just what's now available is really quite incredible. So I don't see an end to this ability to teach online. And I think that's exciting. I don't feel like it has an end date or anything like that. I feel like, things are just going to get more interesting, and we're going to be able to get more creative in what and how we teach online. So it's, we're just in the beginning. I hear a lot of teachers just saying, I'm giving up. It's too saturated. This just isn't going to work. And I feel sad that they've come to that point, because they're not seeing that this is like just an industry that's so huge. And if we look outside of maybe what we think we could do with online teaching, the sky's the limit, I guess.
Absolutely. So, yeah, I agree. Well, I love learning from you, and have really appreciated what you brought to this space. So thank you for joining me today, and I look forward to talking with you again soon on your channel. So
yes,
thank you.
Join the show. Come watch on Mondays at 9 a.m. Eastern time.
Perfect. All right. Thanks, Tim.